Oh my god, is this the place I heard about on TripAdvisor? With the Colada.
Aló.
Aló. Aló.
So this right here is Colada making 101. Colada is one of South Florida's favorite pick-me-ups in the morning.
I drank that cup of coffee, took me like 30 minutes. It was the most amazing cup of coffee I've ever had in my life. Oh my God, for that 30 minutes, I could see into the future.
We have a lot of NCs, so we have to make sure we're alert. So step one of, starting the Colada is making sure that obviously everything that you're gonna be working with is clean, right? So we have filtered water in there, best taste as possible. We clean the Colada machine as much as possible. My coffee of preference is Café Bustelo.
Bustelo Cafe, yay, yay!
They've been in the business for a long time. They produce some of the best coffee. You go ahead and fill up here the receptor of the beans. You make sure that it's packed nice and tight. It helps out a lot with the brewing process in order for it to be nice and full of flavor. You go ahead and you fill this portion up right here with the water. Make sure that it's up to like the bolt, a little bit past like the fill line, because we need as much as possible. So you drop this in there. You make sure to go ahead and seal this tight. This is like the espresso machine was gonna be brewing our coffee. And make sure that it has a tight seal, because if you don't seal it tight, due to the pressure, it will go ahead and spill out through the sides, and you don't want that because that's a waste of Colada, that's a sin. So we're gonna go ahead and start this up. And so while the brewing process is there, this is not where it ends. There's still more work to be done. Things are not easy. So we're gonna go ahead and we need to make the most important part of the Colada, where like most of the kick comes from, at least the flavorful part. It's called espumita. Now, espumita is just magical, it's a thing of love, and that's why, although the steps are the same for Colada to be made, is like it could taste different from one person to the other because of how it is that they make it, so it's a process of love, and I always make my Colada with a lot of love. So usually I like to put like when it comes to packets of sugar, I would say like 14, 13, because I like it sweet. But since it's these the spoon here, we're gonna go ahead and measure by eye, so I think that looks like about right. Usually, like what I like to do is I'll fill up a little bit and then drop the spoon in there, and as long as it covers about a quarter of the spoon once it's standing still, I pretty much take that as being good to go. Now, this is the crucial part as far as the espumita process. So right now, the water's heating up, and there's gonna be like a first tad bit that comes out, and it's usually like the darker part of the coffee, which is like the most flavorful. So you want to capture that first bit right into the spoon, and then start the process of making the Colada. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys, salt on the wrist, as you gotta make sure that out there, whoever's gonna do this in whatever city is taking notes on how to make Colada, it's gonna need a strong tricep, good shoulders. This is a shoulder and wrist workout. So, you kind of burn some calories while doing this at the same time. So it's a great thing, Now, disclaimer, Colada is very potent and caffeine-wise. So if you're like sensitive to caffeine, I definitely don't recommend this. Especially if 1 cup of coffee is usually like too much for you. That definitely is not for you. But it's the best. So we're waiting here. should be a little bit longer.
30 seconds later.
Alright, so this is almost ready. The first portion, the important part that I'm talking about, you know, capturing the first bit of the coffee that comes out, it's about to happen. Usually you'll know right when it's going to happen because the kettle or this portion right here, you feel like a slight vibration from the water bubbling in there, which then pushes through the coffee portion and then creates, you know, the espresso. So it's almost there. I would say a couple more seconds. There it is. So that right there is the crucial part. Now, you gotta wait until there's like enough for a spoonful, you know, because you want more or less a spoonful to go ahead and create the espumita. So here we go. You grab it and you pour it in the spoon, and you want about a spoonful and a tad bit. You set it back in, and now this is an amateur move right here. Make sure to always turn it back on, because if not, you just wasted a bunch of time waiting for the rest. So as you can tell, it's gonna look kind of off like this at first, you know, but with the flick of the wrist.
Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist.
Then it goes lighter, and you're looking for like a specific like consistency and color in the espumita in order for it to properly like rise inside of the coffee. So what the whisking obviously is doing is combining the sugar with the coffee, and it's making like a foam. And the more you whisk it, the lighter it is. And so when you pour coffee on it, it'll go ahead and rise in the actual coffee. So as you can tell, there's already quite a difference. It looks completely different. It's so tasty. It's bad for you if you just were to have this. I mean, shoot, if you're diabetic, not a good idea. So the coffee's almost done brewing there, and we have the perfect espumita right now. Yep, it's good to go. Delicious. So there's the coffee, and should be a couple more seconds until it's completely done. You're usually waiting for that last bit of like the bubbles to pop. Let's take a look. Okay, perfect. So here we go. Gonna go ahead and pour the coffee in there. And as you can tell, you could already see the espumita start to rise within the coffee. And that's what gives it its sweetness. Now, you want to do like a slight whisking motion in order to bring up the espumita in order for it to thicken in the top. And that way you get to fully flavor the espumita and keep the sweetness of the coffee as well. So as you can tell, if you drop it, it'll just go ahead and start going to the top. And you get that nice little layer on top of espumita, which I think is like the most crucial part of making the espresso, because if not, it's just espresso without anything else. So that pretty much completes the process of making it. If anyone has any CQCs, I could go ahead and answer them, and specifically, you know, how many of the sugars you should put or anything like that. That's everyone up to personal preference. But let's go ahead and pour this up. And we're actually missing the most important component. It looks like we have no cups, unfortunately. So
Aló. Colada. Say it with me. Colada.
Colada.
Ran the black hand.
JayOrbit, God bless you.
Ran the black hand. High five.